We are a life sciences company. We focus on the treatment of fluid overload. It's probably not an area of life sciences you've heard about, but you've definitely heard of heart failure, kidney failure, liver failure, and cancer. All of these enormous diseases have problems for patients where they accumulate maybe 10 or 15 litres of excess fluid within their bodies, causing big impacts on their clinical outcomes, major impacts on their quality of life, and huge costs to society for their medical treatment. We treat a complication of liver cirrhosis where the liver leaks maybe a litre of fluid a day. This fluid comes out of the liver, builds up in the abdominal cavity where it has nowhere to go. Patients today who are treated with drainage have a terrible life. They lose approximately half of their life to the disease. It is not only the day they have to come into hospital, it is also the preceding days when they have this massive fluid overload. It's making it hard to eat, sleep, breathe, move around or function. With our high-tech implantable alpha pump, the fluid is continuously removed, enabling them to have all of these capabilities, and we give them back their life. DSR technology is for when there is fluid buildup distributed all across the body. This is particularly the case in congestive heart failure. The fluid is not built up in the abdomen, it is built up in the arms, the legs, the neck, and the thorax. You've probably seen people with big swollen limbs. We cannot use our pump technology to therefore eliminate the fluid from any one place, and this time we work in partnership with the kidney, and by pulling sodium out of the body we can then use the power of the kidneys to quickly and accurately extract just the right amount of the fluid from the body to eliminate the fluid overload in congestive heart failure. The Alpha pump is already approved in the European Union. It has a CE mark. But in the US, we are at the very exciting point of being ready to submit the Alpha pump for approval. We anticipate submission at the end of this year and hope for approval before the end of next year. DSR is at an earlier stage of development. We have delivered proof of concept in 2 clinical studies, and we have just received clearance from the FDA to start our first clinical study in the United States. Well, last year was a very exciting year for the company in terms of data. We produced the data from our pivotal study for the Alpha pump, and the next milestone for that program is going to be submission of the PMA with the FDA and anticipated approval by the end of 2024. For DSR, we demonstrated proof of principle last year that we have a potentially disease-modifying heart failure drug therapy. And this year, we're going to be looking for clinical data from our first US trial, the Mojave study, seeking to replicate that tremendously strong data that we presented last year. Within our Alpha Pump program, our focus is now in getting ready to commercially launch the product in North America. We'll be establishing our own targeted sales force. There are approximately 125 liver transplant centers in North America where we will be focusing our commercial efforts. The market is approximately 75,000 patients, growing at 6 or 7% a year, but within this market we can target that very effectively with a sales force of approximately 50 persons. Within DSR, our focus is going to be upon the execution of this US clinical trial, the Mojave study, and following that study we intend to partner that with a major player in the heart failure space to continue the development and ultimately commercialize it through leveraging their existing infrastructure.